Apocalypse, my apocalypse, Encyclopocalypse.
People of Earth, attention. People of Earth, attention.
Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it, and the friendly neighborhood mail lady has once again delivered. A package was in the box after a long Labor Day, laborious weekend. It's Tuesday when I film this. I don't know what day it is for you right now, but the friendly neighborhood mail lady has delivered a couple of movie novelizations. It's actually the same book. And I'm a collector of things. Well, one of the things I collect are novelizations for movies that I dig. And here is just a quick sampling of some of the movie novelizations in my collection. Like I said, they're novelizations for movies that I dig. Maybe they're not movies that you dig. And there are a few that's popped in that are not novelizations. They are movie tie-in editions, and there are maybe a few for movies that I didn't love, but I ended up with the novelizations anywho. But I dig this sort of thing. I like novelizations because it's kind of a way of joining books and movies. And novelizations are novels that are written typically based on the screenplay for a movie. So movie idea comes first, novel comes second, rather than the movie being based on the novel, or the movie screenplay being based on the novel. Novelizations, the book comes next after the movie stuff comes. And this one is from a new company, not a new company, but a company that's currently making new novelizations for, in many cases, old movies. Some of them are movies that I dare not watch, never have seen, and some of them are some pretty cool films. And this one, it could be considered awful, and it could be considered cool depending on who you are, what your tastes are, but Sleepaway Camp, ever hear of it? It now has a novelization. And I, as soon as I saw it was available for pre-order, somewhere in that general vicinity of the time, I ordered one. I decided I wanted it as soon as I found out they were going to be making it. And I ordered it, and I pre-ordered it, and now they are here. And let's see what they look like. Encyclopocalypse. What a cool name for a publishing company. I don't know if it screams novelizations, but it sounds bad. And they ship these two softcover paperback books in a box big enough to fit them, with a little bit of bubble stuff. But I ordered both versions of it from them. And what they typically will do is they'll offer a mass market paperback version and a trade softcover version. Slightly larger. Mass market paperback would be the size and style of book that would have normally been printed in the early 2000s, 90s, and stuff earlier for a paperback book. And then at some point, trade edition paperbacks or softcovers became the preferred method of softcover publishing. They cost more and things like that. So nowadays, when you go to a Barnes and Noble or a Walden Books or wherever you get books these days, Borders, you're probably going to see a whole lot more trade-sized softcover books and not a whole lot of mass market paperbacks, which we used to see for sale anywhere that you would buy books, like grocery stores, department stores, airports, all sorts of places. The friendly neighborhood library, you would find this as a common way of publishing books. And I like it, so I wanted one of each. And one of the cool things that they do is they don't make them the same other than size. They make them different, so that somebody like me would have to say, hey, I prefer the mass market paperback version because it's more common, more similar to almost all the other movie novelizations I have. But this trade softcover has different artwork. And in fact, it almost is reminiscent of another film altogether. It kind of, I Spit on Your Graves me, sort of. Talk about a one heck of a disturbing movie. I Spit on Your Grave can be hard to watch for some of us. And Sleepaway Camp is a little bit more camp and a little bit less disturbing, although disturbo it do. And I won't get into, I'll actually read a little bit about what it says here, but I wanted to show you, I collect novelizations. Encyclopocalypse is one of several publishers now that are doing things like this. And this is their video, the movie for their book. It's not their video, it's my video. I talk about, wow. But I'm here to show you this. So let's just take a little bit of a look, see what she's about. On the back here, looking at the trade edition, it's the summer of '83. The sun is blazing, the shorts are cut high, and at Camp Arawak, the bodies are starting to pile up. In this fearless reimagining, author B.R. Flynn resurrects the cult classic Sleepaway Camp with empathy, insight, and a gloriously twisted love for the golden age of slashers. Whether you're a diehard fan or a first-time camper, this is the blood-soaked, scream-filled summer you won't forget. For Angela Baker, Camp Arawak is supposed to be a fresh start, a place to meet new friends, enjoy summer days, and leave behind the shadows of her past. But the ghosts of her trauma are never far behind. Quiet, withdrawn, and painfully misunderstood, Angela doesn't fit in among the loud, often vicious campers. But something else lurks beneath the surface of Camp Arawak, a darkness that stretches beyond Angela's fragile world. And as tensions rise and bodies fall, Angela begins to change. Something inside her is stirring. Sleepaway Camp, the novelization, is a profoundly unsettling coming-of-age tale where the true horror lies in how the world treats those it refuses to understand. Digging deeper with every page into the genre, into the past, and into the wounds we try to hide. And probably, I think the most disturbing character for me in this book was Angela's mom. A little bit disturbing, not only how she treats and how she acts and how she talks and such as that, but there are also some kills, some interesting kills. And without being a spoiler-ish, I think for me the kill where somebody gets stuffed in a porta-john is interesting. It sure does kill you. I figured it'd be an awful place to get stuck, but I figured I could survive being stuffed into a porta-john, at least for a little while, till dysentery and whatever else kind of fungi, bacterial, viral stuff takes me down over the next few weeks or months, and I wither away to nothing from dysentery or something else. But anyway, that is the trade edition, and like it says there, the author is B.R. Flynn, based on the original screenplay by Robert Hiltzik. And it's just a soft cover book, so there's not a lot here to show, but I will show a little bit what the text looks like. Regular old paper, like you'd find in a paperback book, but there are some black and white stills in here from the movie posters, which are cool things to see. A lot of the old movie novelizations would have these thick, almost like cardboard, really thick paper stuffed right in the center of the book, showing you images from the story. Sometimes they'd be color, sometimes they'd be black and white. But the way it was designed, after one read, your spine would have this massive crease from the thick pages tucked into the center of those books. And so some of them, looking back now, trying to collect some of those movie novelizations, it's hard to find ones that don't have a busted up spine. So the way Encyclopocalypse did it, they put a lot of these scenes from the movie, but these are printed, they're in black and white, but they're printed on the regular old paper like the rest of the book is, and they're also in the back. And so it does make it a little bit easier for reading. Even though they are black and white, it gives you an idea of what we're looking at. The movie was shot in color. But all of these, I didn't expect to see all the stills from the movie in here. So it's a cool thing. And then the acknowledgments in the end. Recommended reading, Sleepaway Camp, BJ, and Harmony Kalango. But that's the trade edition softcover. And we'll look a little bit at the mass market paperback, the more traditional style of printing movie novelizations. And I really like the fact that it is the more traditional artwork. Sleepaway Camp and You Won't Be Coming Home, the novelization, based on the original screenplay by Robert Hiltzik. Dear Mom and Dad, I've been at Sleepaway Camp for almost 3 weeks now, and I'm getting very scared. And then the note drifts off. And then in the back, you get a little bit more of it here. So a really neat way to publish books. I'm glad that they offer both options, and that both options are different enough that here's what some of the text will look like in that mass market paperback. They're different enough that it means ultimately perhaps two separate books to add to the collection. I'm not going to show you them all, but they have the stills in the same way in the back of the mass market paperback version there too. So really, by ordering one, you're not missing out on anything from the other than the size of the book, the cover design, and for collectors like me, I needed both, so I got them both. I don't remember the price for each one, but I think total I paid $39 and change. Essentially $20 a piece is what I paid with shipping and all. Feels like a lot, but I bought it. So I needed it, I wanted them, I got them. They're in the mailbox, and now they're in the book collection. Glad to have them. Glad Encyclopocalypse is doing the thing. I'm glad that they're doing such things so that I can continue to add new movie novelizations. And they're covering some good ones. Some movies that didn't have novelizations, and now they do. And then some that did have novelizations, but they were out of print and so rare you couldn't buy them. There were a few like that, and now there's a brand new version of it that's licensed, and it's not a bootleg, and it's quality and stuff. So I like what they're doing. I hope they continue. I hope they have success. I hope people dig what they're offering. And they're offering some stuff for movies that I never heard of. So the cult classics, or even the, I don't know what you call them, movies that didn't even make cult classic level. But some of these movies, it's cool to see them popping out. And I often will go look up the movie just to see what it's all about, because they're making a book for the movie. And I don't want to miss chances to get stuff that I feel like might be something worth getting. Anyway, with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And say la vie, baby. Then
It's been decided that we'll fight.
When an armed and threatening power lands uninvited in our capital, we don't meet him with tea and cookies.